So the Chicago Bears were basically cost the game because of this BS taunting rule. So for those of you who didn't watch Monday Night Football, the Pittsburgh Steelers got sacked. Ben Roethlisberger got sacked by Cassius Marsh, who is a defensive end for the Chicago Bears, and it was at a critical situation. Pittsburgh was up by 3 in the fourth quarter, and the sack took them out of field goal range and was on fourth down, would have given the ball right back to the Steelers. Cassius Marsh does a little celebration, and then he just kind of stands there looking at the Pittsburgh bench, doesn't say anything, doesn't put up a gesture, doesn't do anything like that. Gets flagged for taunting, which is an automatic 15 yards, puts the Steelers at an automatic first down, puts them back in a field goal range. They kick a field goal. Now it goes from a 3-point game to a 7-point game, or a 6-point game, to a touchdown game. And the biggest gripe that people had about this was, and including the announcers who were calling the game, like Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and everyone else, were looking at that, and they were like, "What?" He didn't say anything to him. And my thing is, if you don't say anything to the guy, first of all, you can't be taunting. You're not saying anything. You're not pointing. You're just looking. You're just looking. 15-yard penalty for looking. Don't look at the other team's sideline. You might get flagged, NFL players. And it's caused this whole controversy online. It's caused a whole lot of stuff between fans. And Cassius Marsh, actually, after the game, called out Tony Corrente, who was the referee. Because if you guys watch the play back, right as Tony Corrente's pulling out the flag, as Cassius Marsh is walking over to the sideline, Tony Corrente hip checks him. He puts out his hip a little bit to initiate contact with Marsh. And Cassius Marsh came out afterwards and said that was completely inappropriate, which it was. And he's never seen anything like it, which I haven't either. I've never seen a ref initiate contact with a player. Had a player done that to a ref, not only is that an automatic ejection, but it's also a potential suspension, definitely a fine, but a potential suspension on top of being ejected. Tony Corrente, though, didn't get ejected, not going to get fined. He's going to be fine. But the Bears, they might have just been cost the game because of that. And say what you want, it was 100% a consequential play in that game. That cannot be denied. If you look at the facts of the situation they were in, and what was going on in the game, the momentum of the game, it totally changed the entire landscape of the game. That's just truth. And it also calls into question whether or not this behavior from referees should be possible. By the letter of the law, I don't even think by the letter of the law that's taunting. He just looked in that direction, did not say anything. And if you're Tony Corrente, right, and you just see a player looking, you don't hear anything, how can that be taunting? You don't see him flipping anyone off. You don't see him pointing. How is that taunting? He doesn't throw the ball. How is that taunting, Tony? And it gets into a larger conversation of how unaccountable NFL referees are. Because the NFL referees can make a bad call, and they never have to answer for it. Never, never, never. A kicker misses a kick, always has to answer for it. A quarterback throws an untimely interception, 100% has to answer for it. Refs never do. And this really needs to start a conversation about, in some way, refs need to be held accountable. And I'm not talking about the BS way they do it now, where it's like, oh, we're going to rate the referees, and then only the good referees are going to be around for the playoffs. You should only have good referees. There needs to be a better way of holding them accountable, especially when, like Tony Corrente did, they initiate contact with a player on a foul. Tony Corrente should 100% be fined. I'm not capping. I'm not even a Bears fan. 100% he should be fined for that. Because had a player done that, worse would have happened to him. That is truth. Tony Corrente, should he be suspended? I wouldn't even say that. I think a fine's enough. I think the fine's enough. But hey, if they were to, I wouldn't be complaining. For those of you who don't know, John Mara, who is the owner of the Giants, he's the reason this taunting rule exists, or he's one of the primary reasons this taunting rule exists. The owners really took interest into this rule because they felt like we were getting away from the sportsmanship in the game. That is what they said. And mind you, this is like 2 years removed from when the NFL really relaxed their celebration rules. And there's a reason why this is happening. 2 years ago, the NFL laxed their celebration rules because they were up for a TV deal. Because their TV contracts were coming back and they were negotiating. So what did the owners do? If it looks like the players are having fun and they're energetic and they're celebrating, more people will watch. And you know what happened? More people did watch because it's fun to see your team get hyped after they make a big play because it gets you hyped. It makes the viewing experience better. So yeah, more people are going to watch. And then what happened? The NFL got their TV deal. And what happened right after they got their TV deal? Owners like John Mara, they looked at all that money like, oh, okay, we got this money in the bag. Now we got to do something about these players celebrating. We got to do something about this. Bring back sportsmanship, pal. That's what they're saying. That was what they were saying this offseason. So in order to bring back the spirit of the game and sportsmanship, what does John Mara and the NFL decide to do? Implement this BS taunting rule that says, oh, there's no taunting allowed. And if you do taunt, it's a personal foul and a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down. For taunting people. For taunting. Not only is this just an obvious, power grab from the owners, an obvious grift from the owners, because they went back on what they said they wanted to have more of in the game. They wanted more viewers so that they could get more money in their TV deal, which they did. And then as soon as they get that deal, all the fun that you just saw, out of it, because the spirit of the game. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.